Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
And now for something completely different.
Howdy, howdy, folks. A-Train here for a test episode on Kerbal Space Program. Let's jump into the game here. If you haven't seen this is like one of the coolest games ever. I actually had a teacher point this out to me when I ran a rocketry club at a high school in the local area. And it allows you to learn a bunch of stuff about space and rocketry and stuff like that. So we're going to get into here by checking out the game. We're going to start a new game. We'll do career mode. We'll do this as season 1. We're going to change our flag. Now we could do a NASA flag. We could do a squad flag. We could do a couple of different flags and stuff. But you know what? I have a special flag. How about this one? The Bama flag. Alright, difficulty options, normal. Career mode, you have to manage all aspects of your space program. Funds, reputation, and science are all active, and contracts are available at mission control. Let's go. Alright, so this game's available from Squad. I think it's on Steam. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's on Steam. I didn't get it from Steam. I got it directly through the website. So, here we are at our Kerbal Space Center. Welcome to the Space Center. Nice to meet you. I'm Gene Kerman, Flight Director, and your guide for this quick introduction. This is the Space Center. From here, you can manage all aspects of the space program. Feel free to have a look around. Hold the right mouse button to move the camera, or use the arrow keys. Arrow keys, No, I'm not doing it yet. All right, there we go, the right mouse button. Right-click over the Space Center facilities to view more about them. Left-click when you're ready to head inside. If you need more information, check out the training section on the main menu. Thanks, Gene. Now, if you don't recognize what the significance of the name Gene, okay, all the Kerbal's last name is Kerman, so it's kind of like Arkansas. Everybody's kind of like from the same family. That's a joke for our friends in Arkansas. But anyway, Gene Kerman is actually based on Gene Kranz, who was one of the flight directors during the Apollo program. He came up through during the early parts of the space program in the United States. Was one of the flight directors in the Apollo program. Famously, he was played by Ed Harris in the movie Apollo 13 and had the line, failure is not an option.
I want this mark all the way back to Earth with time to spare. We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not going to lose one on my watch. Failure is not an option.
And he has a book, actually, by that same name. I've gotten to meet him and have an autographed copy of the book. Hooray me.
Oh, my God. Who the hell cares?
So Gene Kerman is based on actual Gene Kranz. All right? So, thanks. We've got it. All right. So, this is the Space Center. So, here's the little launch pad. Here's the runway, because you can do space planes and stuff. All right? This is the mission control, which is where you do your contracts. This is the space plane hangar where, guess what? You build space planes. Here's the vehicle assembly building, the VAB, where you build rockets. Over here is the tracking station where you can check out flights you've got on orbit and in the Kerbal system. Over here is the R&D center where you do your research and development. Here is your astronaut complex where you find and hire new astronauts. Excuse me. Here's the administration building. This is where you can do some marketing and stuff to make more money and what have you. You can control the speed up here, and you can do lots of different time acceleration, except when you're on planet or in atmosphere. Then it limits how much you can actually accelerate time. This is the amount of money you have. This is kind of showing based on science versus reputation, kind of where the meter falls. And in the middle there is money. I think. Maybe that's reputation. This is how you exit. Down here are some of the mods I've added, which are there's something, I mean, it shows your contracts, and then you can actually look up stuff here if you need help. Is your KSpedia. It will go through all kinds of stuff you need. Okay. There's some timer stuffs in this. Okay, and then over here you've got some things that point out things that I've already pointed out. All right. So what's the point, A-Train? Well, that's a good question you ask, viewer. So here's what we want to do. We need to take a look inside the vehicle assembly building because, actually, no. Let me take that live. Well, okay, we can do that. Let's actually look, and let's say hi to Werner von Kerman. Now, he's named after Werner von Braun, the famous German rocket scientist who led his team over with the United States and helped establish the U.S. rocketry program. Hello, I'm Werner von Kerman, Chief Rocketry Engineer. This is the vehicle assembly building where we build spacecraft and later roll them out to the launch pad for flight. Pretty impressive, isn't it? On your left, you'll find components to construct your own spacecraft. Select a starting part, then attach others to it to build a ship. You can then have a look around with the right mouse button or the arrow keys. That's it, really. It's not as if it were rocket... Anyhow, if you need more in-depth explanation on how to build, we have a look at the training section at the main menu. Got it. All right. So you in career mode, you start off with very little stuff. You have this little Mercury-looking pod, the Mark 1 command pod. So there's pods, which are your control, vessels. Fuel tanks. Currently, we have no fuel tanks. There's engines. Currently, all we have is this little flea solid rocket booster. All right. Then there's command and control. We have no command and control. We have this little modular girder segment, which isn't very helpful, but you'll see what we can do with it. Payload, we have nothing. Coupling, we have nothing. Aerodynamics, we have some janky basic fins. Okay. Ground, we have no landing gear. Thermal, we have no protective stuff. Electrical, we have nothing. Communications, we have nothing. Science, we have a mystery goo containment unit. Mystery goo is a big part of the KSP lore because it is. It just is. So, but it's a way to get a bunch of science. And you want to collect science because then you can cash that in the Research and Development Center to unlock new technologies to build bigger rockets and stuff. All right, and make more money. And then utility, let's see what we got. We got a parachute, okay? And you can click on this for more information, okay? By right-clicking, all right? So that's kind of what's going on here in the VAB. Now, we're going to actually jump out of the VAB, and we're going to take a look at the at mission control. Because mission control is where there's Warner Von, or there's Gene. All right, so you have some missions available. Gather scientific data from Kerbin. Let's click on that. So there's the founding principles of the Kerbin, world's first record-keeping society. Okay. There's all kinds of stuff. Give us a quick crew report before launching. It's fine if any lights on the control panel are launching. Flashing. Just give it a swift kick. There's a lot of humor built into this game, so it's very funny. Trivial prestige. If you complete it, you get some money, and you get some science, and you get some prestige points, and you get some more money up front. Okay, so you get some money up front and then some on completion. Okay, so that's gonna be a good thing. We're gonna take that mission. So it's Gene's happy about that. Launch our first vessel. Let's see what that says. Now, initially you can only do a couple. See how it says active contracts 1, max 2? Initially you can only do so many contracts. When you get further along, then you can expand that, I think, through the it's through, not the astronaut complex, the one over by the astronaut complex, the management center. All right, you can expand that. We'd like to officially start off the space program with a bang, a very controlled bang, preferably trivial prestige, 5 days. So you have 5 days of clock time. Up here on the left, you saw the total like time in the game. All right, launch your first vessel off the launch pad or the runway to achieve this goal. So all we got to do is launch something, all right? We're going to take that. Not to say we're going to do it right away, but we're going to take it. All right, let's get out of here. So we've got our two things going on. All right, we're going to go into the VAB. So the first thing we need to do is get a crew report, all right? So this is really not complicated. Basically, we're going to take a Mark 1 control pod. We left-click on it, boom, it appears. All we've got to do is take it out to the launch pad and get a crew report. Now, we're going to do a little more than that because I've played this more than once. Okay, so this tells you your total cost of the rocket. This tells you how much funds you have, right? Then you have your center of mass overlay, which looks like that. That's your center of mass. Then you have your center of thrust. Well, we have no thrust. Then you have your aerodynamic, which is your center of pressure, okay? Your center of pressure has to be after your center of mass for your rocket to be stable, okay? All right, that's a critical thing to rocket building. We do that when we build model rockets. Here's your symmetry. You can click on this to do single, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and then it's back, okay? And then here is your toggling your snap. All right, so what are we going to do, A-Train? All right, here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to do a couple of things. We're going to take the pod, and we're going to put a goo container on it. Okay, just one. That's all we need. And we're going to take it out to the launch pad. That's all we're going to do. Now, up here is your crew. All right. Oh, these are some place and move tools that we'll get to later on. Now, if we hold the mouse button, right mouse button, we can scroll around and look around, and it's all cool and neat and cool stored away. You can name your spacecraft up here, okay? And all that. Okay, so let's go to our crew. Let me introduce you to our first three Kerbals. First four, excuse me. They've thrown Valentina in because they wanted a female in here. Initially, all you had was Jebediah, also known as Jeb. He's the pilot. Bill Kerman, the engineer, and Bob Kerman, the scientist, okay? But then you've also got Valentina, the pilot, okay? So, so it's good to have an experienced pilot. Right now, what we're going to do is take Jeb, okay? He's going to be our primary. Valentina's going to be our secondary, okay? But what we'll do is you can swap out your crew. Now we're going to go back to build. That changes the menu out again. We're going to take what we've got out to the launch pad. All right, so here we go. Once we get to the launch pad, we're going to do a couple of very simple things here, and we're going to get a bunch of science out of the deal. All right, music stopped. That's a good sign. Notice this, the launch pad's kind of jank. All right, kind of sucks. All right, there's Jeb. Hey, Jeb. Jeb loves flying. He loves playing rockets pilot. Okay. So what we're going to do is right-click on the capsule, and you get this menu comes up. Okay. You have your comm signal. There's your first hop distance. That's just for communication stuff. Reaction wheels. Well, there's minimal control just to this capsule, but you've got some. You can transfer crew. You can control from here. You can rename it. You can toggle torque lights on. Oh, look, crew report. We needed to take one of those. Also, we've got electric charge and monopropellant. Okay, electric charge is critical because if you run out of power, you can't do squat. Monopropellant's important because if you run out of that when you're flying exo-atmospheric, you can't steer and you're screwed. So, back to the crew report thing. We're going to click on the crew report. You record the crew's assessment of the situation. We got 1.5 science. We could transmit that science, but there's really not much reason to. So we're just going to keep the experiment. Now, that said, look here. We're going to right-click. We're going to right-click. We're going to hit escape. That's not going to do it. Resume flight. Okay. Close this window. I want to close it. Having like a momentary lapse of reason here.
20 minutes later.
Review report. I don't want to pin you. I want to get rid of you. I want to close the deal. Alright, regardless. Alright, let's see here. Let me get over here to the... there we go. That finally worked. Mystery goo. We are going to observe the mystery goo. So the container is going to open up. And it's going to say, Mystery goo observation from the launch pad. The goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now. Great. We can recover it or we can transmit it. Now notice there's a difference in the amount of science you get. Until later on, you really don't want to transmit things. You want to take them back personally. So we're going to keep the experiment. And then we're going to do one more thing. So we're going to point here at Jeb. And we're going to go EVA. Okay? Now, Jeb is chilling. He's outside the ship. So we're going to right-click on him, and we're going to do an EVA report. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? This is true. But we picked up more science. We're going to recover that. Let's board. All right, so now we've got that. We're going to go up here. Yeah, you hold your mouse up here at the top of the screen. We're going to recover the vessel. All right, so that's the end of our first little mission thingy. So now we've got some science. It's not a lot, but it's more than we had. All right, so we got the crew report from the launch pad. We got the EVA report from the launch pad. We got the mystery goo observed from the launch pad. All right, so we picked up 6.9 science. Plus, we actually we recovered all our parts, so we made some money back in that regard. And Jebediah got 1 XP. Hooray! All right. Plus, we got some reputation. All right, done. Now, let's go back in here to mission control. So we have active missions. Launch our first vessel. Archives. Completed. We gathered the scientific data from Kerbin, and that's where we picked up some science there, okay? So, we're going to go now to the R&D Center. And now we have 2 things to choose from. So this is where we start. We have 8.9 science. We can research basic rocketry. Let's click on that and see what we get. With this, we get a LVT-45 swivel liquid fuel engine. This is your basic liquid fuel rocket engine, which we can use. It's good. And then you also get the RT-10 Hammer solid fuel booster, which is also pretty good to start with. And then you get this little tiny fuel tank, okay? And that's going to cost us 5 science to research. Now, over here is Engineering 101, which we can also look at. Now, this has the KIS user guide, which is irrelevant to us for now. It's got the utility wrench, which is irrelevant. Aha! 2 hot thermometer. That's relevant because science. The more scientific instruments you can get, the more science you can gather. That kind of makes sense, right? And in doing so, you accumulate more science, you get more stuff. All right. Also, this gives you the Communitron 16, which allows you to transmit radio signals. It gives you the stack decoupler, which allows you to build rockets that have staging. And you get another Communitron antenna. Okay. So this is a retractable version. This is a surface mount version. Okay. They cost the same. It's just aesthetics. Now, it doesn't get us anywhere, but we're going to take this one because science. Okay? So, we're going to research that. Now, we're down to 3.9 science. We need to get 5 so we can get this. All right? And then we'll come back and we'll look at the stage 2 stuff. So now, this is where you get into a little bit of a lather, rinse, repeat situation. We're going to go back into the VAB. We're going to take a turn around our ship here. Okay. Now we can go into science. Click on the 2 hot thermometer. We can attach that to our ship. Okay. So now we got a thermometer. We're going to take it out to the launch pad. Once we get out to the launch pad, we are going to zoom in. Oh, not that far zoomed in. Pan around the other side. And right-click on the thermometer. And log the temperature. Hooray. We got some science. Keep the experiment. Just for giggles, we're going to see if we can get another reading out of the mystery goo container. We may pick up a little bit more science because of this. We picked up 0.7 science. Okay. Fractions can matter. All right, we're done. That's it. Recover vessel. I know it seems kind of stupid and redundant. It is Department of Redundancy Department, but this is a government operation. Why would you expect anything less? Right? Okay. So now, we have 6 science. Hooray. Next, we recovered everything. Yay. All right, now we're going to go back to R&D, and we're going to get basic rocketry. Research. Yay. All right, sweet. So now, we've got a couple of boosters and some parts. Okay? Now, for the next level of science, we've got to have, the next level of research, we've got to have 20. Okay? And here's the trick. There's the barometer. That's our next science experiment. So, some of these things are added in with mods I've got on here, like this radiator panel. And this this container service bay. The key up here is going to be the Reliant liquid fuel engine, which does not gimbal, which means the nozzle doesn't move. The T40 LV T45 does gimbal, the swivel. So that gives you control over the rocket. This also has these big thumper solid fuel boosters and bigger fuel tanks, which are good to have. But we got to have 20 science to get that. So how do we get 20 science? Well, let's see what we can do here. We have one active mission, and that is launch our first vessel, right? And we're going to get a little bit of science for this and prestige. So we need to build something that we can launch. Well, in doing so, we are going to attempt to gain as much science as possible, okay? That's the key here. All right, so there's some things we need to do. We are just going to try to launch off the launch pad and kick the rocket over just off the coast and land in the water. To land, we're going to need a parachute. So we're going to put the Mark 16 parachute, doink, right there on top. All right? Now I'm going to explain what just happened down here in a minute. Now, we got this mystery goo container. I'm taking it off. Now, I currently have command of it. If I push the X button, it changes down here. It changes your symmetry. All right? So I'm going to 2. Why are you going to 2, A-Train? Because I want 2 on the pod, and I want them symmetrical. Okay, why is that? You'll see. So now we've got those. Okay, good to go. The next thing we want to do is we're going to put another thermometer on the ship, and we're going to hit Shift X to go back down to single symmetry. Okay, we don't want thermometers on both sides. All right, now we got to get up just a little bit off the surface. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this little flea solid rocket booster. We're going to put it on our rocket. Oh, now we've created a rocket. Okay, now see down here, this is your staging. All right, so this is the booster, this is the parachute, this is when they will deploy. You don't want these deploying together, that would be bad. So we're going to hit the plus button to create another stage. We're going to grab the booster, left click, drag it down to stage 1. The space bar allows you to toggle through your staging. Okay, so now we have a rocket. The first stage will be the booster, second stage will be the parachute. Okay, if I scroll up with the mouse, boom, there it is. All right, easy enough. Cool. Let's go for a flight. We're going to launch. We'll go out to the launch pad. Take me out to the launch pad. All right. And once we're at the launch pad, there we go. Cute, right? All right, we're swinging around here. It looks kind of silly. All right. Physics easing in progress. Very good. Jeb is ready to go, okay? We have no throttle control over a solid rocket booster. All right, and what our objective is going to be here is I pan back, see the ocean off to the right? We want to take off, and we're going to arc towards the ocean. We're going to try to take some scientific readings in flight over Kerbin, a mystery goo reading, and then when we splash down, we're going to take a crew report. We're going to take a crew report in flight. We're going to take a crew report splash down. Oh, I may need to transmit that crew report. All right, so let's do this. Year 999, day 499. What the hell? There we go. All right, very good. Let's escape, and we're going to go. We're going to revert the flight back to the VAB. Okay. I want to put a radio antenna on here just in case it's necessary to transmit the data in flight. What do we need? Communications, right? Yeah. So we're going to put this guy right over here. Now, I'm going to show you something here. See how it changes orientation? Oh, what's the button here? No, that's not the button. That's not the button either. That's not the button either. Ah, damn it, Beavis. It's been a while since I played this, so I forget what the... Ah, there we go. Yeah, the plus key, imagine that. Zooms in. Alright, I'm going to put this right here now. If I use the W key, notice it dropped down. Now it's the other way. Now it's up. Now it's back the way its original orientation. If I hit the Shift key, now I'm going the other direction with the S key. Shift, notice it moved in small increments. I'm holding down Shift and pressing the S button to tilt the antenna up. Okay? And that way you can change the orientation of your parts. All right, we're going to put that right there. Now we're going to go back out to the launch pad. Take me out to the launch pad. All right, now we're set. We're going to try to achieve our first flight here. And we're going to try to get a bunch of science. All right, now RCS, that's reaction control system. We do not have a reaction control system on this vessel. SAS, that's stability assist system. We really don't have that on this, but we'll try. Okay, basically we have a very minimal stability assist. See how the throttle is set at 50%? Shift raises it, control lowers it. Okay, but you can't throttle solid fuel engines. All right, the key to solid fuel engines, you right click on it. You can control the fuel level here by left clicking. All right, I guess you have to do that in the vehicle assembly building. But you can change the thrust output and the fuel amount on board a solid fuel engine. So if you only want to go 50%, you can set that prior to the flight. Okay, does that make sense? Good. All right, so let's activate the sector. I'm going to use the WASD keys to fly. And I'm going to be arcing the ship over to the right towards the ocean, but so we're going to try to achieve several things here with this flight. All right, so let's go. 3, 2, 1, hit it. Now, we're going to right click. We're going to take a crew report. We're going to save that. We're going to right click on the mystery goo. Almost out of fuel here. Right click on the mystery goo. Right click on the damn mystery goo. Thank you. Observe the mystery goo. Very good. It's observing. We're getting some shock cones. All right, so we got a bunch of science. We're going to save that. Now we're out over the water. We're still going up. We're losing speed. We're going to click on the lower temperature thermometer. We're going to log the temperature. Very good. Got it. All right. So now we are out over the water. Hooray. Okay. Now I'm going to use the keys, kind of try to straighten the vehicle up. Now, when I hit the space bar again, let me explain the attitude direction indicator. This is up, and the brown side is down, right? Here's your horizon at 90 degrees. This is our direction of travel. This is our nose position in relation to our direction of travel, okay? Well, we're about to stall out and start dropping, okay? So right here is our altimeter, all right? And we're still in the lowest part of the atmosphere. So we didn't escape it. Well, we came close. We're still climbing up here. If we get to 7,000 meters, I think we'll climb out. Okay, now we're down to 80 meters per second. Now we're starting to fall. Okay, so now you're going to see another indication come up. See that ball there? That's the direction the back end. We're going backwards now. We're going downhill. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the space bar. That's going to fire off our parachute, but it's not going to fully deploy until we get down to like 1,000 meters. Okay. So I can scroll out. It's kind of in a shroud mode right now. So what it's doing is it's creating drag. We're still gaining speed, but it's kind of controlling the descent of the vessel. All right. So we're going to try to lock us in to right here, and eventually the two are going to match up, and they're going to be falling straight down. So really, if we just park it, the indicator right here, we're going to be dropping straight down into the water. Okay. So we've taken a crew report in flight. We observed the mystery goo, and we took a temperature reading. Right. So we did those three things. That's good. Now we're coming down in a parachute. Oh, here's where we can speed things up. So we can go up here and we can kind of pick up the speed a little bit. We can pick up 2 times speed. Now you don't want to get too crazy when you're under parachute, okay? Because sometimes it can fail and it'll screw up on you. So 2 times is pretty good. It's pretty safe. Now you just heard the parachute fully deploy. I'm gonna slow us down. We're coming in, and all right. Now see, our surface speed has come down below 20 meters per second. Now it's below 10 meters per second. This is a good safe speed. Everything's got a velocity on it, an impact. If you impact something above that speed, it'll destroy it. All right, you don't want that. That's bad. And you don't want to kill Jeb. That would be bad.
Just watch you don't screw the pooch.
All right. So we're coming down. We're under parachute. Now we can pick the speed a little bit. Let's do that. We time warp, and we're going to get into the water here. And we're getting close. And we're getting closer. And we're getting real close, so I'm going to drop it down to 1 time speed. We're down to like 30 meters. If we scroll back, you can see the shadow. Hooray. All right. Splash. We're here. Yay. Okay. So, we've landed in the water. So now, we're going to do a crew report. Oh, now see, we've already got a crew report on board. So what we can do is we're going to review the report. Okay? Now, we can transmit the report with no loss of science. And this is a crew report while flying over Kerbin's shores. Okay? That's a biome. There are biomes all over Kerbin, and on the various other planets and celestial bodies, okay? Now that just about killed our electric charge, so we're going to wrap this up as quick as possible. We're going to observe the mystery goo. The goo escapes into the water. Hooray, we're going to keep that experiment. Now we're going to come around the other side. We are going to log the temperature, okay? We're going to keep that experiment. And then we're going to right-click and take another crew report. Okay, we're going to keep that because we're done. Okay, so now we're going to come up here and we're going to recover the vessel, and look how much science we've gained. A whole bunch relative to what we had, which was none. All right, so now we're going to be able to unlock more stuff and do more fun things with Jebediah. Oh, looky here, we got 41 science, okay?
Damn!
That's how you have to do this. You don't do just one thing. You got to find ways to pile it all together and make it all happen in one mission. All right, so we got the crew report in Kerbin's water, temperature scan in Kerbin's water, mystery goo observation while flying, mystery goo observation Kerbin's water, temperature scan while flying, recovery of a vessel that survived a flight. So there we go. So we got 2 oh, and we transmitted the other crew report. So we got 2 crew reports, 2 temperature scans, 2 mystery goo observations, and we recovered a vessel, so we earned a bunch of science. So next, we recovered all the parts, so we got money. And Jebediah, no XP gain, which kind of sucks, but I mean, we did make a flight. All right, and we also accomplished that mission to launch a vessel. Okay, so now we're going to go back into R&D, and with 41 science, we can do some things. General rocketry is 20, stability is 18, survivability is 15. We're going to click on survivability, and we're going to get this. Why? Because of the barometer. We're going to research that. Now we got 26 left, so we have to choose between stability, which has an aerodynamic nose cone for the booster rockets, fancy wings, and radial decouplers, which allow you to attach booster rockets to the sides and then decouple them. Or we can go to general rocketry and we can get the bigger boosters, which you need the radial decouplers for. Or you get the bigger fuel tanks, okay? And the engines. I mean, you get all this, right? So we kind of have a toss up here. Do we want the radial decouplers or do we want the bigger fuel tanks? I'm all in for the bigger fuel tanks. So we're going to grab that, all right? So now we've got more stuff. Now, if we come up here, you see technology. We can look in the archives. And the archives tells us all the stuff we've done from all the different places in the system. This is the Kerbin system, okay? You got Kerbin, which is our home planet that we're on. And on Kerbin, you click on it, you've got the Moon and Minmus. Those are the two orbiting bodies, okay? You click on it, and it takes it back down. Then you got Duna, which has Ike as its moon. And then you've got Drez, which does not have a moon. Jewel has Lathe and Val. And Tylo and Bop and Paul has a bunch of moons. Jewel's the big planet. And then you got Elu, which is all out of its own. Then Moho is in close to the sun. It doesn't have anything going on. Eve has Gilly, which is its little moon. It's basically a floating rock. Okay. So there are some of the basics of Kerbal Space Program. I hope you liked the episode. I hope this recorded well. We'll see how it goes. If you enjoyed it, give us a like. We appreciate that. Share it with your friends. Kerbal Space Program is a really cool game. It's lots of fun. It's educational too because you learn about building rockets. You learn about center of thrust and center of pressure. You learn about apogees and perigees and orbital dynamics and things like that. So it's educational and it's kind of challenging because you kind of have to try and fail, and it's a trial and error kind of thing. So if you like these kind of games, great. If you enjoyed the episode, let me know. We'll do more of them. And subscribe to the channel for more great content coming soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great day. I'm A-Train. It's over, and I'm out.